So
School
McKenzi
teacher.
Bezos
Yeah.
ends up fairly quickly, by the way, leaving when they got the divorce. She ends up marrying a school teacher, one of her kids' school teachers, right? Is that
science
kind of what
teacher.
happened? A science teacher. So what do you think about that? Since you have strong opinions here, why don't we give this one to you?
I mean, McKenzi Bezos, she was married to Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, for what, 20-something years?
Yep.
They get a divorce maybe 5 years ago. Jeff Bezos starts dating Tom's good friend. What's her name?
Lauren Sanchez?
Lauren Sanchez. And Megan, McKenzi, 50 years old, ends up divorcee and only worth about, $50 billion. Something ridiculous. One of the wealthiest women in the world. She owns, 5% of Amazon, whatever the number is. And she's 50. She's not young, but she's not old. And she made headlines, over the pandemic for doing what? Just completely giving billions and billions of dollars away to philanthropic charities and just being a decent person. That's my biggest takeaway from her
I think
she has just been. She could have been a typical Boca divorcee and just shopped
Leave
every
the folks
day.
in Boca alone. Honestly, that was offensive, right?
I did offend some people, but she had an opportunity to be just to contribute nothing to society and be rich and live on a yacht. But she said, "No, I actually want to make a difference. I actually want to have a normal life and give back to society." And that's clearly what she's done. She's given away billions.
What do you think about her marrying a school teacher?
I think kudos to this freaking science teacher that put some sort of chemistry concoction together and said, all right, I'm going to woo this uber wealthy Bezos broad. And she fell for it, and good for him. This guy's name is Dan Jewett, and Dan Jewett is doing it, and doing it big time.
I'm going to have a disclaimer here and say I don't know him. I don't know him, but you know what? I don't
you
need
know
to know him
Lauren
to have an
Sanchez.
opinion, right? And this is a farce. This is not going to work. This has no chance to work. Zero.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. Because they're just completely miscast. And it might be all great now. I married the science teacher. I met him at school pickup and the whole thing. But this is not going to work because they are too different. They come from two different worlds. It never works. Look at Elizabeth Taylor when she tried to marry a commoner. It didn't work. It never does. And I have a friend. I have a very good friend who was married to a very successful man, a lot of family wealth. She grew up, in a higher society, was used to that type of life. When she got divorced, she had a relationship with a guy who really didn't have a job, that really, kind of flopped around, like to do, just like to have a good time. She got tired of always having to pay. She got tired of having to carry him. And I think any guy would be a little insecure in this situation. Unless this guy is the strongest man on the planet, I mean, this thing will start fraying away.
About Jeff Bezos.
I mean, don't you think?
Jeff Bezos, richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos just landed on the moon. Jeff Bezos, he's like, I'm just trying to land on my wife tonight. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
His whole existence is to help her give away the wealth, and I just think it's weird. I think it's weird she got married this quick, number one. I think it's odd that, his everything he's saying is too perfect for me. Now, I could be wrong, and they could be perfect for each other and just save the world, but it's a little weird to me.
I think, just to counter argument on what you said, clearly she knew what she was signing up for, and he knew what she was signing. Like they knew, just like the Harry and Meghan thing, you know what you're getting yourself into. And even she said she changed her Amazon author page, ironically, about it. She lives in Seattle with her 4 children and her husband, Dan. That's her bio.
She's guilty of being
her bio.
She's feeling guilty for having this much wealth. I think
if she would feel guilty if she wasn't giving it away.
Well,
I
no,
think
that's
she just
part of
wants,
the reason why she is giving it away.
I just think she wants a normal life, raise her kids, lives in Seattle. She knew what she's getting herself into with this science teacher. I think the biggest question is, how long is homie going to actually teach science class? When one kid steps out of line, he's just like, I can't deal with this crap anymore. I'm out. Let's just go on vacation.
Once the honeymoon
I think
wears
that's
off,
the biggest thing is, how long is he going to be a science teacher for?
You were a substitute teacher.
I was a substitute teacher, for a year.
Where were the billionaires for me back then?
Exactly.
Hey,
There was no McKenzi Bezos popping into science class being like, hey.
I think a guy, once
Love
the
your
honeymoon
goggles.
wears off, is just going to feel insecure and thinking, I didn't really have anything to do with this. It's all her. And then little things start happening. Maybe you're a little short-tempered. Maybe you're a little condescending. Maybe you're a little snappy and this and that. And that just builds and builds and builds. So I don't know. I wish them all the best, but it just seems like a weird
I wish them
mix.
all the best, but they'll be divorced in 6 months. But that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I mean,
Tom Zenner.
you just have to realize when you go through a very extreme relationship, extreme meaning abusive, extremely lovable, extremely a prick, extremely competitive, extremely attractive, extremely whatever the extreme you go and date. You typically are like, dude, I want to go complete opposite side. So then you typically go like we went extremely politically one side, then we go extremely one guy that tweets 50 times a day, one guy that doesn't even want to do a press conference. We are so extreme as human beings, right?
But
So
do you want more extreme or you want more normalcy?
I didn't say this is not me. This is what McKenzi did.
No, but
I'm
saying,
just a regular guy here. So,
but are you saying that you go from one extreme to another, or go from one
typically-
extreme to just I want some normalcy?
No. Typically, with an extreme, you at one point valued that. So if you valued, oh my gosh, Jeff is so driven. Freaking, this is so attractive.
Right.
You know, and then you're like, dude, this guy wants to go take out Barnes & Noble. And then you're like, dude, that's attractive. And it's like, I want to go live on Mars. Babe, that's enough. I'm limited. I'm like, good, we're taking out bookstores, but I don't care to go to Mars. Like, enough. Let me just go marry a scientist that wants to figure out chemistry, right? Let's go figure out some of this benzene stuff. So now she goes and marries a guy like that. You date a very, very attractive girl who wanted you to get her gifts every day, and I demand a dozen roses every single week. Oh, no problem. You're so beautiful. And then all of a sudden you're like, bro, I just want to like miss 1 week of flowers with you and not be judged for it, right? Then you go meet a girl that's just like, oh, if you get me flowers once a year, I'm so grateful for it. Like, why don't you know? So there's an element of that going on. You went from the richest man in the world to a teacher, okay, to a teacher. Now, you know, it could work. It could work where you're just kind of like going away and just kind of kicking back and relaxing. But Tom's got a good point. It's going to be very... There is a reason why J-Lo's dating A-Rod, okay? There's a reason why Jay-Z's dating Beyonce. Jay-Z is Beyonce. Beyonce is Jay-Z, if that makes any sense. A-Rod is J-Lo. J-Lo is A-Rod. Kanye is Kim. Kim is Kanye. There is that understanding of what it is with the limelight. You know, you've been trained on how to do it. This science teacher has not had limelight except for 20 kids that are screaming his names, throwing paper, you know.
To counter-argument that, you always hear people in Hollywood like, I do not want to marry another actress. I do not want to marry someone in the limelight.
They say
I
that.
want just someone who's low-key, be the
they
mother of my
say that.
children.
But you remember what you said? You said something. You said, you know, ever since I've been around your company, what I'm starting to realize the power of couples.
Correct.
Okay, that's the couple power.
Yes.
So McKenzi is there. That's a different kind of a, you know, you have to know, like McKenzi. Who do you think McKenzi's met in her lifetime at a dinner?
Everybody.
Everybody. Are you kidding me? Who hasn't
She's met
she
Tom Zenner before. I
But
mean,
what I'm trying to tell you is she's met every who's who. So who do you think impresses her?
nobody.
Can you imagine? You're like, oh, McKenzi, tonight I'm gonna take you out to dinner,
I'm gonna tear
double
you apart,
date,
girl.
and I'm gonna introduce you to the #1 realtor in all of such and such county. It's like, bro, I own the company. What are you talking about? He works for me. You know? So it's not gonna be hard to impress. You know, you take a girl out the first time to Europe, she's like, oh my gosh, Tom, this is such a beautiful place. You take a girl that's been to Europe 50 million times.
Right.
Like, okay, let me take you to the restaurant. You follow me, guy. So there isn't that. I want to get that.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, I think they're doing it for the right reasons. Okay, I'll give them that much.
I think so as
okay,
well.
you know, but you know, it's already come out that he had played a big role in her divvying up that $4 billion that she gave away at the end of last year. And I'm just thinking, how are you this qualified to be telling her what to do with the money? Jeff might be thinking as well. You know, I'm the one that kind of built this company and earned this money. Now they're giving it away.
Can we pull him up, Dan?
So
Jewett, let's see what this guy looks like.
I just think.
Watch him have like a ridiculous six-pack and runs 10 miles a day, benches
let's
4
get
plates.
a little.
Say something
let's get a
about
little
Dan.
perspective.
There's something called human nature,
Let
and a
Dan
guy
roll
doesn't
up
want
on
to be
you in the
taken.
street,
He
buddy.
doesn't want to be taken care of all the time. Is that him on the left? Oh boy.
He's just a dude. He's a dude.
Wow.
She looks happy.
We must be related. That's a very similar nose. I recognize that nose.
He's the Armenian science teacher that
Good for
long
him.
lost.
Well, I mean, look, she looks very, very happy,
Yeah.
holding her Kindle, and you know, obviously they're hanging out somewhere
Well,
there. But
Pat, you brought up something, so I'll just circle back to that. Like
Here
when
we
you
go.
when
Here we
you
go.
when you deal with 4 years of extreme.
by the way,
with
he's
Trump,
still upset with Megan, just so you guys know. Go ahead.
clearly distraught. But you know the whole thing with Biden, you know, not to get too political here, was We had such an extreme personality, such a showman, such a marketer, such a look at me, it's all about me, news cycle.
Kind of like Megan. Yeah, so go ahead.
I don't know about that, but I think there's a lot of people craving in this country, like, bro, just shut your mouth, get off Twitter. Just,
interesting.
I don't want any
you
of that drama.
You gotta stay aligned with your points here.
My points are intact, sir. My points are intact. Here's my point: is that this country, a lot of people, 80+ million, we're like, dude, just enough of the drama. I just want something a little more chill. Again, not too political. Back to McKenzi. I think she was like, look, I dealt with a guy who wanted to be the trillionaire. Is this a different
Adam 15 minutes ago and then changes with McKenzi? Like, what is the matter with you?
This is my point is completely concise. I think she just wanted a normal, chill life. She married the science teacher.
Oh my God.
She'll never have a chill life.
It's gonna be all right,
she's running carpool pickup.
She definitely has a type, bald guys. You figured she'd go with a guy with a full head of hair if she wanted
At least she's consistent.
Yeah.
We respect that. At least she's
Galera
consistent.
should have slid it. Eric had a shot.
Editor.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.